Well, welcome back, everybody, to our online program on addiction and recovery. And we've been talking about the contributions of William White. And just give you this background again. William White began his career in the 1970s when the way the healthcare system looked at people suffering from addictions was not exactly the most healthy way. They generally saw people with addictions as the lowest on the totem pole in the mental health profession, and really didn't put a whole lot of effort into helping them. And William White grew up in this world, and then also at the same time, this is when the science of addiction really began to get on a roll, and so he was fully aware of these new scientifically oriented programs, the type of training that was needed to create good counselors. And one of the ideas that he always promoted was the ethical treatment of people who suffered from substance problems. In fact, he even wrote a book on it, a case study book, just to help counselors understand ethical dilemmas that they may not even be aware totally that they were running into. So he was a great enthusiast for helping people, helping counselors become much more ethically attuned to the work they were doing. And one of the key reasons he was doing this is because he kept noticing these sort of behaviors of counselors. In fact, he even noticed when the science was getting on a roll and people were starting to pay attention to it, he noticed that individual treatment facilities seemed almost to resist the new science and become what he called this sort of closed incestuous system. And they sort of buckle down and sort of refuse to listen to anything in the outside world. This is also a time, by the way, when it was very difficult to get any information on a treatment program. For some reason, the facilities were very resistant to having any outside person look at their material. And to be perfectly honest about it, a lot of people just didn't care. Okay, they're in there for whatever, 28 days, and so that's fine. We don't even care what you do, just fix the problem. But he had seen this way of the attitudes that the healthcare profession had, and he actually said they would actually insult the clients. He saw this profound lack of training in the field of ethics. The main reason why he wrote that textbook on ethics for addiction counselors. And he saw these sort of goofy rules and behaviors that were put in place by which people could get discharged, and yet these rules had really nothing to do with therapy or anything at all. So he was bound to change this, and the activism part of William White came out for this. And so he was a great promoter of the ethical treatment of people suffering from substance issues. And this had a profound influence on how counselors today, for example, operate. And just really, if you want to be a good healthcare helper, like how you should deal with clients, and warning them about sort of a moral bias against that, warning about the stigma of addiction, and to look at all these practices and really analyze them to make sure that they met healthcare standards. And so again, because of people like William White, I think our treatment today is much improved, much better as a mental health profession, and really ethical treatment. Anyway, that's it for this episode, and we'll be back next time with our last idea from William White.